All right, we're live. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing today?
Dude, I am doing fabulous. I want to know if you got a nickel for every time somebody has told you they're going to wait until that word spring.
I think
Dude,
I think it would make a house payment. Yeah.
everybody.
Well, and the funny part is, right, it makes sense, but it's such an easy thing for people to say, meaning I'm thinking forward, but it's completely non-committal. It's just gathering information. So hard to gauge the level of seriousness when they say that. Because spring could be late February to early August, and then you just wait for it's like tomorrow. It just never gets here.
Well, the best part is some places in the north just kind of skip through that spring.
It's, yeah,
So they might miss that market altogether.
2 or 3 days. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And folks, I mean, we're making light of this because we've been doing this. I was just talking to Ken.
Oh,
30 years you have in.
thank God I can't grow facial hair. It's the only chance I have to not look my age. Yes.
So I'm 29. That means I got into real estate at 21. Oh my goodness. It has been a wild 90 to 120 days since the massive increase in interest rates, which is why everybody's saying they want to wait, right? Can you blame them?
Well, I mean, it's the time of year, the holidays, and a lot of the calls that when they say spring, it's people trying to, if they're self-employed people, trying to figure out what they need to gather for their accountant, and um, a number of reasons why they say that. But yeah, who would in the heck wants to even think about this until at least the middle to end of January? Too much good,
Seasonality's kicking in.
too much good quality family time to have.
Oh, I'm gonna duck out of the way here for a bit, just to remind everybody that prime rate is a doozy. Going up quickly, going to affect your credit cards, your HELOCs, your auto loans. Just keep that in mind. Start looking at your statements when they come in. Make sure you're understanding what's going on. If you can't attack all of the balance on a credit card, we'll leave the one with the lowest interest rate. If you're going to leave a balance, start there. Anything you want to add to that before we get into this?
If you have a home equity loan or credit card debts that you don't clear each month, go to your calendar right now and put on there somewhere January 7th, 10th, pull up statements, review, reach out, will help you. But the point is, interest rates continue to go up. There's probably a better way to pay for that debt that's less expensive. But get through the holidays and make a note to see if you're doing the right thing or if there's a way to save a few bucks.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so everybody wants to know, what are the mortgage rates going to do? What are the home values going to do? Because that is what is really put the old stick in the spokes, we'll say. So we've done some research on our end, and we've put together this graph. We've shared it before, but I think it's really starting to make a whole heck of a lot of sense of what we think of that spring, where everybody's waiting for, is going to look like.
So the Federal Reserve started increasing interest rates because they said the economy was too hot. And it was. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous in the housing sector and all sectors of the economy, actually. But with the announcement that came out on Wednesday, there's a couple schools of thought there. But what was acknowledged is the work that they've done is having the effects that they desire. So it's working and heading in a direction. Now, the time frame, we have no idea what's going to happen there. But at least there was an admittance that inflation has slowed considerably and the things that they've done are starting to take hold. Blah, 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 blah,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah, whatever that
No,
means.
no.
The good news for us on the mortgage / real estate side is that when inflation is fully acknowledged of being in check, lower mortgage rates are going to follow. So, that's when you and I talk about this and we read all this stuff, there's two schools. One is, hey, we could see incredibly low rates soon. When I say low, lower than the high. And then another school is, no, it's going to be the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter before we see any change to the interest rates, which affects this affordability.
Okay, so the key moment on this chart is basically that April 7th date, where it exploded from 3.22 to 4.72. That was a 1.5 in rate jump. And that's right on the tail end of when all the multiple offers were going and people were bidding up the prices of the homes. So you can see it went from 334 to 352. And from that point, April 7th, we're still in that same home value range, but with even higher interest rates.
Yes.
Hence the problem that we've been in for the last 6 months for the housing market.
Yes.
Now, this 12/31 date, which we're using 2 weeks from now, we think the 30-year fix is going to be somewhere around 6.25%. We were 6.13 yesterday. We might be 6.2 today. So we believe that's an accurate number to reflect
It is. Yeah.
where we're at right now.
Almost real time.
Yep. Zillow index came out, was updated yesterday or the day before. Again, you're not seeing any movement, significant movement down in home values over the last 6-7 months, 8 months. It's crazy. Even with the higher rates, we're not seeing the values come down. So tell us what you've done in the going forward.
Yeah, so the interest rate part, again, you touched on that. We believe that into early next year, that the economic factors are going to get us to a spot where we're going to see better rates than what we have right now. So, if we follow it along, if you get much past March, it's kind of a crapshoot there. So we just kind of left it constant and said, we're going to be right around just under the 5% range, give or take. But with regard to property values, we said, let's take this and let's just shave 1% off the Zillow value each month as we move forward. And our thinking there is that it is going to take a while for lower rates and demand to pick up, and that there's not a lot of inventory, so property values are going to hang pretty tight. But based on the lack of transactions, I believe we're going to see slight decreases in property values as we move forward. So it gave us just a little bit of an idea to say, all right, if we're trying to go back to when the market was busier from our side, we were still clipping along and had a number of people calling interested in buying.
Yes.
In this April 7th timeframe. So if we just kind of use that as a metric to say, if we could get back to that, what does that look like for maybe consumer demand or excitement to buy a home again? And gosh darn it, we're going to be real close to that, in the spring. So back to that part.
Which is when everybody wants to go.
Yes.
That's why they're waiting. Right there, we believe, is the reason that they're waiting. From a qualification standpoint, those that couldn't, as well as the trying to not catch the falling knife as the values are coming down, and it's tough mentally to know that you're purchasing something that's going to come down in value. It's not a feel good.
And, you know, it's like I'm waiting till spring. Well, I want to see if property values drop. I mean, all of that stuff to me just means that the person isn't in the emotional spot where they want to buy. And you know, because a slight change in property value, I mean, that again, if you go over
Doesn't do
6 months,
much.
it's not a big deal. And you're not buying a house with the intention of selling it in 7 months, trying to make money on it anyways. This is a long-term buy and hold situation. There's merits where you have family dynamics. You need to take up more roots, remove this maybe temporary feeling that renting has provided. You need more space. Those are the reasons why people should be buying a home. And if you have those reasons, there's no reason to not get started, because the spring's here like tomorrow.
Yep. And I mean, after the holidays in the southeast or the southwest, the spring starts.
Yeah, so just a quick time frame. You know, we're going to be after the first of the year here in the wink of an eye, and you start looking in January, you find something, you're not closing on that until the end of February, sometime in March, and now you don't have a first payment till April or May. So spring's here.
I love the chart. I love seeing the fact that basically 1027 was the peak, and now we're slowly coming down off that peak. In that ramp up from 1.6 to 1027, that's insane. $800 a month almost in 9 months.
No wonder that the real estate market has come to almost a screeching halt, right?
Yes.
That's the normal, like the amount of time that should have taken place for that kind of an increase is like 24 to 36 months, and it happened in 9.
The velocity.
It's ungodly.
So here, you can pop that back off, please. So we talk about the velocity, how quickly everything changed. And then the other buzzword is sticky. So inflation is sticky right now. It's not moving quite as fast. It's moving. We all wish it would move down faster, but it just doesn't work that way. It takes time to come through these cycles. So what do folks do right now besides say, I'm just going to wait till spring? How can we help them get ready? So when the calendar flips January 1, what do we want them to do?
First things first is it makes sense to take a peek at your credit, just to make sure your mortgage credit report is the same as the consumer, the Discover, the Capital One, the Chase credit scoring model. If you're thinking of doing that, it makes sense to make sure that's in place. Second thing is, man, really try to drill down on how much cash you have, and start thinking about being more diligent and putting a few more bucks away so that you can get ready to get ready. Those are the two things that we can't go back in time and make up for that time. Everything else is just reach out, and we can share some information to help you hone in on the budget. But again, the credit and the savings, that's the thing that's most sensitive to me.
Okay, other thing, real estate agents, if you need one, meaning you have a property to sell, now's the time to start those conversations. Get ready to get ready. What we believe
that part on there, that came up a couple times here in the last 2 weeks. But if you're talking to somebody that's thinking about listing, make sure they understand the idea of getting a home equity line of credit on the home before they get it listed. Start thinking about what their next steps are now, because all of the finance stuff is much easier to do before that sign gets planted in the yard. That eliminates a lot of options for that. So
yes.
On the real estate agent side, if you think you're talking to somebody, they're thinking about listing, that's a great conversation starter to say, hey, let's talk a little bit about your next step, so that if you do need to talk to a mortgage person now or get that equity loan, again, you can't go back and make up for time.
But we have to remember, again, the topic was everybody's waiting till spring. So that is going to mean everybody's going to try to go at
Right.
the same time. So get ready, get your ducks in a row.
So with the buzzwords that we've heard, now that the market slowed down, is you might be able to do a contingent offer and you can get a seller credit. Yes, those are true statements, but it's not a guarantee. We had with
Correct.
somebody that, again, they wanted to do a contingent offer, and somebody else had some interest, so they didn't have to uberly compete, but it removed their option of doing a contingent offer. Hence the equity loan. Good thing they did that 4 or 5 months ago, so that they were able to deliver. So,
Dude, outstanding stuff today. Seriously. Please, if you're watching this, please share it around, get it out there. We'll plug in numbers for you if you need us to do that. But this is where it gets fun again.
I mean, right. Anything we can do to help you with your thoughts, because again, spring is right around the corner, but a lot of conversations right now are getting ready to get ready. They're not, hey, can I apply for a mortgage? It's
Right.
forward thinking. So don't think that if you call, you have to apply. Let us share some information to help you with your decisions.
Awesome. Great job today. Thank you so
Ditto.
much. See ya.
Peace out.